Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more r/AmITheButtHole. As always, a huge thank you for your support towards the channel. It means the absolute world. If you would like to support, you can click that like, that subscribe, maybe the notification bell too. And let's crack straight on with today's stories. Much love, guys. And this story comes from a throwaway account titled Am I the Arsehole for telling my assistant manager to keep her opinions about my relationship to herself. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. I love my job, and when my boyfriend's been together 3.5 years, job was taking too long to bring him back, I got him a job working with me. It's been great, no one acts weird. Honestly, for the first month no one knew we were together. We made a solid circle of close friends / co-workers, and it's a healthy environment for the most part. My assistant manager, 30 female, brings up our relationship a lot. About how she could never live and work with someone that she was dating, how spending so much time together is toxic, etc. My boyfriend has stripper friends who sometimes visit our workplace. They are lovely girls and we hang out occasionally. They are older than us, in their 30s, and we are 23. Beautiful and intelligent. Honestly, they act like mums or older sisters, and I love the friendship. My assistant manager talks about how secure I must be to be okay with how they act together. They call him Babe, but they call me Babe too, lol, and she tried to tell me to watch out for them, how my boyfriend seems too friendly with women. He's friendly with everyone, and just started venting her opinions about my relationship. I told her I appreciate the concern, but to leave it be. We are perfectly happy. She pressed the issue, and I told her to mind her business and focus on her own relationship. She said I was being an asshole for not taking what she was saying seriously and reevaluating my relationship. And since my relationship is a known thing, she has every right to say something about it. Am I the arsehole? I mean, I get workplace and dating opens Pandora's box, but I think she was out of line. Assistant manager, whatever, she gave her opinion the first time, fair enough, whatever. And you told her, you appreciate her concern, but you're happy with things as they are. And you're secure in your relationship. But then she continues to press the issue, and that's where it goes over the line and starts to become way too much. And if I'd maybe say one more time, look, it's none of your business now, please keep out of it. And if they don't, and then I'd still document everything as well if you do need to take this further. If it's annoying you that much that you need to take it further, then I would do so, because they're making your workplace uncomfortable for you, and you shouldn't be uncomfortable in your own workplace. And if she's that happy to, get involved in your relationship, is she doing it to others as well? There's always that question. Not the arsehole from me, but Terrier says, not the arsehole. It sounds like your assistant manager is harassing you. You may want to document every time she brings it up and your responses to it. This is the type of thing that can develop into a hostile work environment or ruin your relationship. If she doesn't stop, I suggest talking to HR or her boss. 9OKM says, not the arsehole. I think assistant manager might just be a tad insecure herself. Could always try sarcasm. Just take everything she says seriously. A notepad may help. She'll appreciate the attention. OP replies saying, I've joked about them being his other girlfriends, and I've said it in front of other girls before, and she was mortified. My boyfriend and I are very much in love. His friends are wonderful people who help him out with advice and are there for him when I can't be, platonically. I think her issue is she knows they're strippers, which I mean, that's how they make their money, lol. Why should I care? And don't drink acetone, top advice there says, not the arsehole, it's your relationship and you don't owe her any information about it. She's being overbearing and borderline creepy. OP says, she's the only one who makes it uncomfortable. She also found out we have taken one of the younger workers under our wing. She's having issues at home. We give her rides to and from work, take her out to eat sometimes, and I've been helping her navigate a little. The other day, she said she wouldn't be caught dead hanging out with someone of that age, and how it's creepy. Platina D says, not the arsehole. Sounds like your manager has issues of her own to work out. And one more from Aggravating Ad who says, not the arsehole. Sounds like she's projecting her issues onto you. Now, let's move on to the update to see what that says. So, update. Alright guys, I got overwhelmed by the comments and couldn't respond anymore, lol. I didn't think I'd get so many responses, so thank you. I reported her to HR and an investigation is now happening. I've communicated with my boss as well, as he has told her if she keeps it up she will be finding new employment. A lot of people had questions that I will answer here. We do work in a restaurant environment. My boyfriend's friends who are strippers do not broadcast what they do, nor did they show up topless or anything crazy. They came in regular clothes and act normal, but one of our co-workers recognized them from the club they work at, which is why our co-workers know they strip. They do have flirty banter with my boyfriend and I, but again it's with both of us. They are super nice, super respectful, and I honestly know there is nothing to it. They will hug my boyfriend in front of her, and she will comment how big/long the hugs are, but they hug me the same way. The best hug givers ever. Anyway, yeah, she's been warned to mind her business, and my boyfriend and I will continue to live stress-free. Everyone who said they love our/my vibe, right back at you. And I got to say, I do love OP's and their boyfriend's vibe through this. It sounds like a very chill people, very secure in their own relationship and how they are in themselves as people. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And they sound like they have wonderful friends as well. Now, what do you guys make of that update? What do you think of the story? Is there anything else they could do to their busybody assistant manager? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll move on to the next story. And our next story comes from a string of characters who says, "Am I the arsehole? I insulted my wife in front of my family. I and my wife have been married for 8 years. She told me she wants to be a stay-at-home wife when we got married because she didn't like her job that much. I was okay with it since I earn enough for both of us. My mum had to drop out of school because she lost her parents at a young age, and she had to do manual labour to send her siblings to school. The Indian government then did not have any concessions for orphan kids. She had the choice to either go to school herself or send her siblings to school. Because of this, she dropped out in 8th grade, 14 years old. Both her siblings got employed in really good companies, and they took care of her since then until she got married. My dad passed away just 2 years after their marriage, and she had to take care of me on her own. Her siblings did help, but she worked 2 jobs along with that to support us both. Edit, herself and me. I was an only child. My father died while she was pregnant with me. Today, we had a family get-together. My mum, her siblings, each of their kids and daughter/son-in-laws, grandkids, etc. After having dinner, my wife said we needed to leave early because our kids had to go to basketball, swimming, and also have private tuitions tomorrow. My kids were begging her to let them stay for a little longer. My mum asked my wife if they can miss one day of practice to spend time with the family, since the kids also must have missed their cousins after not having met them for nearly a year. My wife retaliated, saying an illiterate woman wouldn't know the importance of education and extracurricular activities. My mum was clearly hurt and apologised for overstepping. I told my wife that literacy clearly hasn't taught her, my wife, basic manners. My wife got mad at me for insulting her in front of everyone and went back home with her kids. She's not even picking my calls or replying to my texts. Am I the arsehole? Now there's no way you're going to be the arsehole in this situation. You gave no reason why your wife would be so bloody rude to your mum. And after hearing the story of how your mum brought you up, going through 2 jobs to support you, and clearly loves her family very much and just wanted the kids to spend a bit more time together. She was clearly enjoying the atmosphere, I guess. For your wife to then turn around and say something so bloody hurtful when you know what your mum has gone through all this time. Yeah, I can't blame you for snapping like you did like that. And going off the information that we have in front of us right here, someone spoke to my parents like that, and I knew that they was thinking of them in that way. After everything they've gone through to get me where I am today, I'd be fuming as well. Absolutely not the arsehole to me. But Paul Stewart 1 says, not the arsehole. Your wife sounds awful and should show your mum all the respect in the world. As many people say on this site, this is a massive red flag. Your wife clearly looks down on others and doesn't have respect for you or your family. Maximum Tangerine replies that saying, stealing the top comment to say to OP, don't divorce her, whatever you do, don't. She will get primary custody because she spent more time with the kids and you would have to pay child support and alimony. Try to get her to have a job, high paying, and spend a lot of time with your kids for primary custody. Wow, that comment reminds me of a revenge story we read a little while back where the wife was cheating and he He let her get a high-paying job, and I think it was like over 9 years, and then eventually got custody of the children because he let her have this high-paying job and all this kind of thing, and he was the stay-at-home father. Yeah, it was a wild one. Can't remember what the story was called, but anyway, I've got off on one. The Ginger Cynic says, and quotes, "My wife retaliated saying an illiterate woman wouldn't know the importance of education and extracurricular activities." Then says, "The question isn't whether she's an arsehole for this comment, it's how big an arsehole she is. If she's aware of why your mum had to drop out of school, since she knew enough to make comments on it, then she's much worse than if she doesn't know. Either way, her comment was cruel and uncalled for." Quotes again saying, "I told my wife that literacy clearly hasn't taught her, my wife, basic manners." And says this is an excellent point and a fair response. "I don't agree with publicly shaming your, in general, spouse, but she had the audacity to insult your mother's education. When your mother stepped up to be a parent to her siblings, calling that behaviour out in front of your mother was important, because your wife knows you won't sit idly by while she badmouths your mum. Not the arsehole." And quotes one more time saying, "Family get together, my mum, her siblings, each of her kids and daughter and son-in-laws, grandkids, etc. My wife got mad at me for insulting her in front of everyone." And says, "Thing is, your wife made this comment in front of everyone. She thought it was okay to humiliate mum in front of the people she dropped out of school to support, their spouses and kids, entirely unprovoked. Since your wife has given you the silent treatment, you may want to give her time to cool off, then ask why she thought that was an appropriate thing to say." Greek American Dom says, "Not the arsehole, your wife definitely was. Your mum deserved to be present to hear you put your wife in place. How dare she look down on your mother? This may not bode well for your marriage, but you are in the right, she is not. I would encourage you to take this quiz," and then provides a link. "I fear that it might reveal some bad things about your marriage. If I am right, do not avoid conflict to keep the peace. You're going to have to face this head on and deal with setting some decent moral values in place." Alpha Queen 3 says, "Not the arsehole, she flat out insulted your mum and she's mad at you for calling her out. She's the one who embarrassed herself. You were just offending your mum." And one more from Silver Eyed Freak who says, "Not the arsehole. You defended your mum after your wife was unbelievably rude to her. Your wife needs to apologise to you and your mother." And our next story comes from Alomas who says, "Am I the arsehole for telling the court that I would rather live with my dad after mum showed up with her stepkids to the dinner I planned? My 15 female parents divorced when I was 3. My mum remarried 2 years after that and my dad 5 years after. They had a 50-50 custody until last month when I decided to fully live with my dad. Both of them have stepkids with whom I'm not really close to. They're more like friends than my brothers, and at first both of them prioritized them over me. Since my dad remarried when I was 8, I was able to tell him that I felt put aside and left behind because he had a new family that he seemed to prefer. My dad is a very sensitive person, and this rubbed in the wrong way. Things were hard at first, but with a lot of family work, we were able to get through that, and things are a lot better now. Even when my dad fucked things up, he really tried to fix them. He wasn't perfect, of course, and neither was I, but this brought us closer. Things with my mum were a lot different. I can't remember the first years, of course, but I've always felt that my mum preferred her husband over me, and this caused her to love his children more. She forced me to call him father, to give up my room to his twins, and everything my dad or grandparents got me, I had to share with them, whether I liked it or not. When I was 10, I told her the same thing I said to my dad, but she reacted way worse than that. She accused me of wanting to break up her marriage, of being a jealous, spoiled brat, and that I was an ungrateful little bitch because she had done everything to keep me safe. But I can't remember the last time I had my mother alone. Or at least a proper conversation when she didn't focus on my step-siblings. I let time pass, and in September of this year I was accepted into a private high school with a scholarship in Mexico. I was so excited because if you get accepted into the high school, then getting into the uni is way more easy, and this is one of Mexico's best universities. My grandparents helped me to plan a dinner for my parents to give them the news, so I asked both of them to go to my grand's house alone next Sunday because I had something important to tell them. I made sure to tell them that it was only the two of them, no spouses, no stepchildren, and both of them said okay. But my mum attended with my 5 step-siblings and went mad when she realised that there wasn't enough food for all of them. She and my dad fought and left before I could give her the news, and I only told my dad, and asked him to take me full time because I couldn't pretend that my mum wasn't hurting me. She thought that I was going to come to her house despite that, and when I didn't show up this Monday, she accused me of abandoning her. Told me that I was an awful daughter and her side of the family is harassing me to go back because a mother is the only thing I'll ever have, and that my dad has never done anything good for me. Hell no. And those last lines really got to me, where she turns around and says, "You're abandoning her," and told you that you're an awful daughter. I got to say that I think you're best off out of it and living with your father. It just sounds like your mum is nothing but emotionally damaging to you at this point, and you need to look after yourself. And I think that is what you are doing in this story, and, you know, well done to you for doing so. You asked for one small request, that they turn up alone, and she still turns up with 5 step-siblings, knowing, you know, that you requested only the 2 of them. So of course there was only going to be enough food, and I know food isn't a big issue, but that was going through my head. What, she turns up with 5 step-siblings and that they're only cooking for a certain amount of people? It just, what the hell? Person's got some issues. Absolutely not the arsehole. But Scorchy Song says, not the arsehole. Your invitation specifically stated no extra guests, but your mother ignored this despite confirming she understood. Your mother failed you. She should have given you space to have a relationship with her, just between the 2 of you, and not sharing it with her new family. She's never done this. She expected you to roll over for her family while making no concessions for you. She had to make your special dinner and news about her family. Congratulations on your achievement. May your future be bright and with people who genuinely care for you. Cake as a Die says, not the arsehole. Tell the flying monkeys to shove it. You are not. Oh, I love flying monkeys. You're old enough to make your own decisions, and it was your mother's choice to ignore your request to come alone. If they are posted on social media, block them. Ugg says, not the arsehole. She obviously favours your step-siblings over you, and your dad truly cares for you when he can. She might have deeper motive for having shared custody of you instead of, I am your mother. An old fart says, not the arsehole, and quotes, she accused me of abandoning her, then goes on to say, it sounds like she emotionally abandoned you years ago. You wanting to stay with your dad full time is the price she now has to pay for doing that. And one more from Mythical Oasis, who says, not the arsehole. You're clearly at an age where you're capable of determining where you feel would be the best fit for you. Since your mother couldn't stay long enough to hear your news for her, you might as well text her. Now, what do you guys make of this one? What should OP do in this situation? Do you think moving in with just the father is the right way to go about it, or is there an alternative solution? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll move on to another story. And our next story comes from Hometown Girl. Am I the arsehole for sending my neighbour Venmo requests every day until he pays for the laptop his kid broke? I am a high school student and live with my family. I was doing some homework on the patio table outside, and I was the only one home. I went inside to refill my water bottle and came back out to see my laptop on the ground and my neighbour's kid running around the deck. The neighbour lives next door in a different house. We don't have a shared yard, so I was not expecting this kid coming around. I tried to catch her and asked what had happened to the laptop, and she ran away to her own house and wouldn't talk to me. I went home and checked on the Ring camera and saw a video of my neighbour's kid running into the yard, running under the table, pushing up on the underside of the table, causing everything to tilt and slide to the ground, and running away. In under a minute I'd been inside. I downloaded the video to my phone and went to the neighbour's house to ask for money to replace the laptop. I decided to ask for $1,700 for the laptop and $159 for the lost time that I spent doing the homework that I'd have to redo. I valued my lost time at the amount I'm paid at work, since I'd likely have to skip a couple of shifts at work to redo the assignment. I went to the neighbour's house and he said he wasn't going to pay because I shouldn't have left the laptop out and anything could have happened, like rain or something. I said it was a clear day and I only went inside for a minute. Anyway, anything didn't happen. I had a video of his kid happening to my laptop, and since she was too little to pay for it herself, he has to, as he's her dad. He said no. Now this might be petty, but I have his Venmo because my family and his family did a barbecue block party thing and I had to pay him for a share of the shopping. So every day I sent a 1,859 request to him and he keeps declining it. I told my family and they think I shouldn't have left out the laptop and that I was harassing him doing that, and they will replace it for me. They would use some of my college fund money, but I feel like they shouldn't have to pay. Plus, I'll need that college fund for college. So I've kept Venmo requesting him and also posted the video from the camera on the community Facebook saying, hey, any advice here? I had a neighbour's kid come to my house and break something expensive on camera. Are they supposed to pay, and how can I do that? The parents have been refusing to pay a bunch of times. Is there some homeowner insurance to help? Sorry for dumb questions, I'm a high schooler and I've never dealt with something like this before. Anyway, my parents found the post and got upset at me for stirring the shit and for continuing to Venmo request him. Am I the arsehole for being so stubborn about getting paid for the broken laptop? Now, first thought coming out of that story is that's not the right way to be dealing with getting the money out of him. Surely a court, a small claims court or something along those lines. I'm assuming that's the same sort of thing in the US as well, so you have to forgive me if I'm wrong there. I'm no lawyer. And I don't think you'll be getting your money back for your lost time. I just don't think you'll get that back. I've seen too much Judge Judy in my time. But Gamer Bruh says, not the arsehole. File in small claims court. Should cost like $50 and with the video, the parents will be obligated to pay. Nefariousness Glum says Venmo isn't the way to handle it. Small claims court would be your answer. Or filing a police report. Parsimonious Salad says the neighbour's kid was trespassing and willfully destroyed your property. You have evidence. File a report, not the arsehole. Better 2021 everyone says not the arsehole, but you're beating your head against the wall. Your first step should have been filing a police report. Then you sue in, most likely small claims court. Don't count on getting full value back unless your computer was brand new, out of the box, and will be valued at the replacement cost for a comparable use and age computer. And you'll probably be laughed at for asking for monies for shifts missed, but they should give you money to help replace it. Mermaid is a dog who says small claims court is a thing if you're in the US. You know that neighbour would be after you if the situation were reversed, not the arsehole. And one more from Secret Werewolf 1942 who says everyone sucks here. The dad absolutely owes you for your laptop. You however don't get to just pull random amounts of money out of your head. You can ask for repair costs, you can ask for replacement value, which means the same laptop even if it's only used now. I'm pretty sure no court will give you lost wages until you've lost the wages, lol. Go take the laptop to a repair place and get an estimate. Find out if the data is recoverable. File a claim in small claims court. Now, what do you guys make of this one? What do you make of all of today's stories? I would love to know your opinions if you choose to share them. A huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved today. If you'd like to support the channel further, never any pressure to do so though either. You can click that join button down below for YouTube, or you can click the link tree in the description and join over on Patreon. It all hugely helps out, but there's never any pressure to do so either. Thank you for your love, your support, and your time, and I will see you, you cheeky so-and-so, in the next one. Take care guys, much love.